So here's a closer look at my Transformers Masterpiece Autobot display. And we'll get into, I guess, the what's in there in a little bit here and talk about the display unit itself a little bit. This is a piece I found on Nextdoor, which is like a small scale neighborhood social media platform, I guess. And it has its own classified section, so this caught my eye on there, and the seller just wanted to get rid of it. So it was free as long as I could move it. And with the help of four other people, moved it. So, needless to say, it's a sizable piece. So, the specs here, you can see that I have a 9-foot ceiling. It's about 2 feet short of that. So this is 7 feet tall. And contextually, you can see that, next to a DTOF, which lots of people are familiar with, this DTOF is up on some risers, and this thing is still, substantially taller. So 7 feet tall, about 31 inches internally across, and the top and bottom are wider, of course. It's about 18 inches deep. It also comes with some feet on the bottom that are adjustable. You just screw them and unscrew them to change the height of the feet. So if you have an uneven floor like I have, it's sitting on the rug and also sitting on the wood to level it out, I had to adjust the feet. It also came with doors, 2 glass doors. I removed them because they were not really working that well and kind of finicky and rattly, so they're gone. It came with 3 glass shelves also that you can see they've been adjusted, but originally they were not adjustable. So I'll get into that in a little bit here. We'll get a little closer here and see some of the details on what I did. If you look in here, you can see that it has sort of recessed lighting in the ceiling. It came with 2 of those. There's one on the other side. And they're now empty now, but they had just, an incandescent bulb in there and a fixture up on the top that I tried to improve just by adding a new Philips Hue LED bulb to make it brighter and some adjustability, but even that didn't make me happy. So what I did was I actually unscrewed both fixtures, turned them upside down with the same Philips Hue white bulbs, and had them, just kick out light from the top to give the whole unit some glow, so to speak, in the top. And obviously, I decided to go with some LifeX light panels. They're smart home light panels. If you're not familiar with them, they're basically full RGB light panels. Each one can be any number of colors, and I think each one even can do several lights or several colors when it's within itself, so you can have all kinds of scenes and colors and settings. It's really quite impressive what you can do with these things. And I went with them on the ceiling because the display unit itself, you can see, is mirrored on the back, and I wanted to take advantage of the mirroring, which reflects light, which produces more light. So as opposed to some of my other displays where I have lighting on the back, my lighting source here is primarily from the top. So we'll switch over to the other side to take a look at what's going on. So one of the major things that I did was make the shelves adjustable, as you can see. And all that really happened was that there are a couple of pegs that hold the shelves up. You can see the black peg there and one in the back, and there's really 3 of them. I just drilled new holes and took the pegs out and rearranged them so that I got the right size and measured for the space that I wanted up here. And so, one of the challenges of a masterpiece collection really is the size, and especially when it comes to, someone like Jetfire, or of course, obviously Omega Supreme. If you're in this hobby, you know how hard it is to find a piece of furniture that will even hold Omega Supreme, a masterpiece Omega Supreme, with anybody else at all. Usually you see him by himself, at the top of a DTOF or top of a shelf or with a bunch of city bots or whatever, but I wanted him to be with the primary cast of the Autobots, and that's all even true with Jetfire. But to have such a wide space and deep space, I was able to actually do that here with this piece by making all these changes. And we'll slip back over here to the other side and talk about this diorama stuff that I did, which I didn't make. It's pre-made by a company called Fext Hobby. This set is the Fext Hobby 04. There's two of those sets here, which are obviously orange to give it the, inner arc theme, And if you look closely, there's some pieces here that have like a screen that's supposed to be Teletran. And some different floor pieces, and there's some more leveling back there to give it some more depth. And the pieces also have the set actually have some clear pieces to help diffuse the light from the top. And with all these levels, the clear pieces allow the light to travel through to the bottom so that you're not literally blocking out the light the more levels you have. Slip back over here. You can see deep inside here there's another bit of the Fext Hobby set holding up Inferno. So you can see him cleaning Omega, so to speak. And then down on the bottom is, I guess fairly obvious, the 1986 movie cast of Autobots, mostly, with some space here for expansion, obviously. But more of the same here. We got some Fext Hobby pieces here as well. And then I think a random Toy World panel and some acrylic risers to help, Masterpiece Grimlock, who these days is maybe a little bit small for his purposes these days. But again, we got some leveling here to break it up, especially with characters like Magnus, who's huge. And the lighting down here, since my LifeX panels don't reach down here, given so many figures above, even though it's glass, I added some Amazon spotlights, fairly generic, but they attach by magnets, so I can just attach them to this beam here. And I've got a raceway even for the wires. I don't like wires everywhere. So these spotlights are 170 degree range and LED, and I have them plugged into a smart plug. So they're on a sensor, and they go on when somebody walks by and go off after a little while when there's no motion. But that helps me light this lower shelf a little bit. Sneak over to the other side. And then the lower shelf is not really used. There's like a half shelf here that I just decided to make use of the last glass shelf and threw some random vehicle modes in here. And then the lower bottom shelf is so low that it's just storage. I'm not using it for anything right now. So yeah. So I really do like this display, and I guess the one thing that I don't like about it is this beam in the middle, right? It's pretty distracting, but it's a support beam, so I can't remove it. But it did give me, the option of attaching lights that are really invisible. It's just the light that you see on the figures, but also allows me a place to hide wires by putting in a raceway. But yeah, back up one last look. So one last thing I'll splice into this video here I forgot to talk about is basically the display also has Philips Hue light strips for backlighting on both sides, and gives it, sort of a warm glow to highlight the whole display, I guess. In addition to the top, has some light as well. So if you couldn't guess, I really like lighting. So one thing I did want to mention is how the LifeX panels on the ceiling help this all work out. So I decided to go with smart lighting primarily because of the adjustability, and in my opinion, lighting is one of the most important things when it comes to displaying something like this and showcasing your collection. And for me, just a white light was never going to be, satisfactory, since there's, several shades and warmth values for even white light. And since these are RGB, they can actually do all kinds of different things. So to take it to an extreme, I just press a button in the app and have it do, something like that. And you can see that each panel isn't even just one color. That one of those panels has 2 or 3 different colors, and they're all different things. So something even crazier, and I can change the brightness and even change the way it moves. So there's almost like some motion, and as you can see, just the slightest change in color changes the mood of the display. And with some of the scenes that can move, it really brings the whole display to life that normal white light of really any warmth or whatever coolness could never do, that an actual color display can do like this. So yeah, I think that's it.